Here's a crf250r that I just got. It's a part. Got this a couple days ago. It's a 2008. It says it right there on the frame. You can't really read it though. But it's a 08 250R. Needs a new crankshaft. It's aluminum frame. There's a subframe. It came with 2 seats. One that's low and then one that's higher. And then it came with the plastics look like they're from a newer bike. They don't look like the factory 08 plastics. Because if you compare them to this, they look like they're a couple years off. Because go like that, and then... But it doesn't look like the right plastics. In the subframe, somebody welded it. If you look, there's marks where it's been welded and ground down. So it might not even have the original airbox with it. But it has a TC4 seat and a SDG seat. The exhaust, it has a aftermarket. Don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Yoshimi or something. Exhaust. Right there. So it doesn't have the dual exhausts. The shock for the back. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Has a Showa rear shock. Showa forks. It's just like the 150, but a little bit bigger. Even the engine looks really close to the 150. Looks like the same thing, just the 250 engine is bigger. Now, I'm not sure if you can see this or not. Well, let me show you something before I show you the engine. If you look, the bike has an hour meter right here. And on the hour meter, it says 168 hours. Which, that's a lot for a bike. Especially a race bike like that. But the crankshaft, it's shot. It has a hot rods connecting rod in it. Hot rods connecting rod. Or not hot rods, I mean Pro X. And Pro X, I've used them before on 2-strokes. And I've never had a problem with them. They're supposed to be OEM or better quality. So, yeah, they're supposed to be good. The engine doesn't really want to turn over. There's little bits. Because what happened is, the little washer that's on either side of the crankshaft, it's missing. And then if you look in that little groove right there, and you see the little pins for the bottom end bearing on the connecting rod, the whole bottom race is gone. And the bearing's not even bad. There's no slack in it. So it didn't wear out, it just went out. It's still a good bearing, it's just... Well, it's still a low hours bearing. It just doesn't have any washers or any cage holding it together. Here's the cam chain and the flywheel. Side covers. Head cylinder. The head looks really nice. Has the same Unicam head. Right there. And I think somebody, if you look right there, it looks like somebody filed down the compression release. Because whenever you turn the compression release, it's hard to show, but somebody filed a flat spot in the compression release, it looks like. So, I bet that's for low RPM running. But I got this bike really cheap, and it looks like it's an old race bike. Radiators still look good, and doesn't look to be in bad shape. I have the gas tank, all the plastics and everything. Now, it didn't come with the front wheel, the chain, the front sprocket. I think that's just about all I found so far. A couple other things it's going to need. It's missing a couple bolts, so I had to order a bolt kit. But I can't do any work on it now because I ordered the tool and it hasn't came in yet. Tool that slides right on here to get that bolt out. And I can't split the cases with that bolt on there. And I tried locking it up and I couldn't get to lock up just with regular stuff. So I had to order the tool. And it's actually not that much bigger than the 150, it doesn't seem like. Like, it is bigger, and you can definitely tell it's a little bit bigger than the 150, but it's not, like, a lot bigger. Like, whenever you stand on the 250, it doesn't seem, like, the peg length and everything doesn't seem too much bigger than that one. It's just, the main thing that I noticed is the 250 is a lot longer bike. The 250, can't really tell, but the 250 is quite a bit longer than the 150. And the 250, like if you look at the shock tube and stuff, has some bigger parts on it. Has a steering stabilizer there. 150 doesn't have that. And I'm not sure if the bars are lowered on this or something, but I don't really see much difference between the 250 and the 150 in size. But then again, this is a big wheel, so this is a little bit bigger than the regular 150. It sits higher. But if you're looking at getting a 250 and you have a 150, it doesn't seem like that big of a step up. And from what I understand, the 250 is about the biggest bike frame size that you can get, because the 450 isn't really a really much bigger frame. The frame, it's hard to explain, but the 450, if you look at the specs and everything, it's like a 250 with a bigger engine and better suspension and stuff. It's not like a lot bigger. Here's the 100 that I have, and yeah, that's basically it. Didn't come with an air filter. And I think I already said this, but it needs a front rim and everything. Front rim and disc. Has total control. And this has that too. I think that might be a factory thing. But it's a pretty nice looking bike. It's going to need the engine rebuilt and put together, but the parts don't seem to be in that bad a shape. It's going to need a new brake lever, and it's going to need a new clutch lever, or clutch perch. So I'm going to have to order those. The aluminum frame is pretty light on this too. Yeah, that's basically it. If you have any questions about this bike, because I know a lot of people have to replace the crankshaft in a crf250r like this one. And I'm not sure if they'll warranty that crankshaft or not, or this connecting rod. It might. I plan on getting a brand new OEM crankshaft and then just replacing the whole everything so that it doesn't go out again. But the bearing, there's no play in it. Or not really any play in it. it seems to be like the needles are still good. And there's part of the cage or the race right there. Not really sure how it wore out, but it did wear out, so maybe somebody rebuilt it wrong. I don't know. Clutch basket seems to be in good shape. Might be a replacement, because to me that doesn't look like a Honda clutch basket. That looks maybe like, well, not a Wiseco, but I don't know. It looks like a replacement to me. Definitely not Wiseco, I don't think. But it doesn't look like a Honda. But it does have a Pro X connecting rod, made in Japan. And one thing I found weird about this bike, no top end needle bearing, because it's a 4-stroke. So that's a little kind of weird to me. But if you have any questions about this and you want to know anything about the engine or anything on this bike, just put it in the comments and I'll answer it as quick as I can. And if you have I don't really need to order any parts off it, so I don't need to order that many parts. Now, one thing I have noticed is the front rim. I went to order one, and the front rims on these things are terrible, from what it seems. Seems like they're really thin aluminum, and it's like most of the rims I looked at were either bent or cracked, and then there were a couple rims that weren't, and it's just hard to find a good rim for this. Renthal bars, and then, yeah. Here's the 100. The 100's still running good. I don't think I've made a video on this bike before. This is a Honda, I believe it's an EZ90. It's a Honda Cub. It's more like a scooter. So if you have any questions about it, or wondering about the size difference between the 150 and the 250, I might make another video once I get the plastics and everything on the 250 and get the front wheel on, showing the size difference. But honestly, it doesn't seem like the 250 is too much bigger than the 150. It's a little bit, but not what I thought it was going to be. Thought it was going to be a little bit bigger, and I was going to have to keep the 150 for a while. 150's been a great bike. Still has good compression. No valve problems yet. Well, that's just about it for this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and if you have any questions, like I've said, put them in the comments. And I forgot to show this, but I have some other parts in here. This is most of the engine parts in here. Stator and stuff. Most of the engine bolts. Clutch pack is right there. I think I'm going to replace the clutch. It looks pretty worn. So if you have any comments about, like, if you have any questions or anything, just put it in the comments. And that's it for this video. Please comment, like, and subscribe.